The Las Vegas show was like no other, bursting with energy and life. The moment you stepped inside the Grand Theater, the atmosphere wrapped around you like a warm hug. Fans filled every seat, their excitement buzzing in the air. You could see people wearing flashy outfits, sparkling jewelry, and giant smiles. It was a night meant for fun and laughter, where dreams of stardom danced in the minds of many. Above the stage, dazzling lights spun and twinkled like stars in the night sky. The golden bulbs illuminated everything with a warm glow, creating an enchanting space where magic felt possible. Each flash of light made the performers shine even brighter, captivating the audience's eyes as they waited for their favorite star to appear. As the music pulsed through the venue, hearts raced with anticipation. Everyone whispered about what would happen next. It felt electric. Children clutched their parents' hands with glee while older fans reminisced about Elvis's timeless hits that had touched so many lives over the years. In this lively place filled with laughter and longing, all eyes were glued to the stage. The singers dazzled in colorful costumes as they performed electrifying routines that made everyone cheer. But amidst all this excitement was a shy 10-year-old girl discreetly making her way forward, long strawberry blonde hair flowing behind her like a soft curtain. She wore a sparkly silver top and a shimmering pink skirt that caught the lights just right. Clutching a bouquet of roses tightly in her small hands, she took slow steps toward her idol. Little did anyone know that this innocent journey toward stardom was about to create an unforgettable moment for everyone gathered there that night. As the vibrant show continued, all eyes were drawn to a young girl tiptoeing nervously toward the stage. She was only 10 years old, but she seemed to carry the weight of 1,000 dreams on her small shoulders. Her long strawberry blonde hair flowed behind her like a golden ribbon, glistening under the dazzling lights. The sparkly silver top she wore shimmered as she moved, casting tiny reflections that danced upon the theater walls. Her pink skirt fluttered gently at her knees, adding a cheerful touch to her delicate appearance. With each tiny step, her heart raced faster. She clutched a bouquet of freshly picked roses tightly in both hands, their vibrant colors contrasting beautifully with her shiny outfit. Each rose represented her admiration for Elvis and her dream of reaching the stage one day. As she approached, whispers of encouragement filled the air around her, a mix of excitement and nervousness that was palpable. Despite being surrounded by a crowd of cheering fans, she felt alone, like a spotlight had narrowed just for her. The faces in the audience blurred into one big sea of joy and expectation. She couldn't help but swallow hard as she glanced up at Elvis on stage, who radiated charisma and charm in his famous white rhinestone jumpsuit decorated with sparkling gold stars. The stage felt like a magical world so close yet so far away. As she drew nearer, butterflies fluttered wildly in her stomach. What if he noticed her? What if he smiled? The possibility made her cheeks flush with warmth. But just as she was about to reach him, the ground beneath her feet seemed to betray her. With one misstep, everything changed in an instant. She stumbled forward, sending the roses flying through the air like falling stars amidst the electric atmosphere. The bouquet of roses clutched tightly in the girl's small hands carried deep meaning. Each flower was more than just a simple gift. They were symbols of her love for music and her admiration for Elvis, the legendary performer who had captured hearts for generations. The vibrant colors of the roses mirrored her own hopes and dreams, blooming with the possibility of one day standing on stage herself, just like him. As she walked, she imagined what it would be like to follow in his footsteps, standing before an audience, feeling the rush of excitement, and sharing her passion for singing. The thought made her heart flutter like the petals in her bouquet. The roses represented all those late nights spent practicing in front of her mirror, pretending to perform in dazzling costumes and envisioning her name in lights. They were tokens of encouragement from her family, each bloom carrying words like, "You can do it!" and "Follow your dreams." But with each step toward the stage, that admiration was mixed with a rush of nerves. What if he didn't notice her? What if she never got to be on stage like him? The roses were her way of connecting with Elvis, a bridge across that daunting gap between a hopeful young girl and a superstar singer. As she stumbled forward, the bouquet flew from her grasp, scattering flowers across the stage like an explosion of colors. For a moment, time stood still as she watched those precious roses fall, each petal representing a piece of her dream. Despite the initial shock of embarrassment, there was magic in that moment, a connection forged between admiration and courage, quieting her fears as she awaited his response, which would change everything for her. Just as the girl neared Elvis, her heart pounding with both excitement and fear, disaster struck. In a heartbeat, her foot caught on the edge of the stage, sending her tumbling forward. Time seemed to slow down as she fell, a wave of panic washing over her. The bouquet of roses slipped from her grasp, scattering across the stage like a shower of colorful petals, each one a fragment of her dream. The vibrant music that had filled the theater abruptly stopped, leaving behind an unsettling silence that enveloped the audience. Gasps echoed through the crowd as they watched the scene unfold, their collective breath held tight in anticipation. For a brief moment, it felt as if the whole world had paused. All eyes were fixed on the young girl who had just taken a tumble in front of her idol. As the roses danced across the stage floor, the beauty of their colors stood in stark contrast to her embarrassment. She felt a rush of heat rise to her cheeks, wishing she could disappear into the shadows. The audience's murmurs turned into whispers of sympathy, a mixture of concern and encouragement filling the air. Would she be able to recover from this? Then, like a beacon of hope amidst uncertainty, Elvis sprang into action. Dressed in his dazzling white rhinestone jumpsuit adorned with gold stars, he rushed to her side, kneeling down with urgency and kindness. His presence transformed the moment entirely, bringing warmth and magic back to the room. As he reached out his hand to help her up, a wave of relief washed over not just her, but the audience too. This unexpected fall had created a remarkable opportunity, one that would forever change how she saw herself and her dreams. The audience shifted from shock to awe, as they sensed that something extraordinary was about to happen. As the girl fell to the stage, the audience remained frozen, their eyes wide with concern. But in that moment of chaos, Elvis's instincts kicked in. Dressed in his dazzling white rhinestone jumpsuit adorned with shimmering gold stars, he was every bit the superstar, radiant and captivating. Yet, it was his heart that shone even brighter as he rushed to her side. His movements were quick and purposeful, showing genuine concern for the young girl who had just experienced such a public stumble. Kneeling beside her, he looked deep into her eyes, searching for any hint of fear or embarrassment. Instead, he found a mix of surprise and vulnerability. Elvis's expression softened, and he spoke to her gently, his voice warm and reassuring, as if they were the only two people in the bustling arena. "Hey there, little star," he said into the microphone, his tone soothing. "You're doing great. It takes courage to come out here, and I'm proud of you." His words wrapped around her like a comforting embrace, instantly transforming her embarrassment into a feeling of support. The audience watched in awe as his kindness poured forth, creating an electric connection between them all. Elvis offered her his hand, helping her rise from the stage floor. The crowd erupted into cheers, not only for the superstar who had rushed to help but also for the girl who had faced her fears. In that instant, the atmosphere shifted from one of panic to joy. The roses that had scattered across the stage now seemed like a celebration of bravery and hope. Elvis stood beside her, smiling broadly as he encouraged her to join him. This wasn't just a moment of kindness, it was a lesson in resilience and believing in oneself, a magical memory that would forever be etched in the hearts of everyone present that night. As the girl lay on the stage, her heart raced in a whirlwind of emotions. Initially, embarrassment flooded over her, making her cheeks burn crimson. She had dreamed of this moment for so long, only to have it marred by an unexpected fall. The roses that represented her hopes now seemed like colorful reminders of her clumsiness, scattered across the stage floor. But just as despair began to creep in, something amazing happened. Elvis knelt beside her, his presence radiating warmth and kindness. Instead of the judgment she feared, she felt an overwhelming sense of support wash over her. His gentle words wrapped around her like a soft blanket, soothing her worries and replacing them with a burgeoning sense of magic. "You're doing great," he said softly into the microphone. In that moment, all eyes were on them, a spotlight shining not on embarrassment, but rather on empathy and courage. The audience held their breath, waiting to see how this unfolding scene would play out. What could have been a moment of shame transformed into something extraordinary, as Elvis helped her up with a smile that glimmered brighter than the stars on his jumpsuit. The crowd erupted into cheers, their applause echoing throughout the theater like thunderous waves crashing against the shore. In that instant, the girl realized this was not just about tripping, it was about rising again. She could feel the electricity in the air, as if everyone present shared in her journey from fear to empowerment. The scattered roses became symbols of resilience rather than failure. They danced across the stage floor like confetti celebrating bravery. Instead of walking away feeling defeated, she now stood tall beside Elvis, basking in newfound confidence and connection with him and the audience. This magical transformation would remain etched in her heart forever, a reminder that true bravery often shines brightest when faced with unexpected challenges. As Elvis knelt beside the young girl, the tension in the air was palpable. The audience held its collective breath, waiting for his next words to break the silence that followed her fall. With a warm smile, he leaned closer, lifting the microphone as he spoke softly but clearly into it, ensuring every person in the theater could hear his heartfelt message. "Hey there, little star," he began, his voice tender and filled with understanding. "Life is full of trips and falls, but what truly matters is how we get back up." The weight of his words hung in the air like a gentle melody, resonating with everyone present. He continued, "You've shown such bravery coming out here tonight. Remember, every time you face your fears, you shine brighter than anyone else." The girl felt warmth spreading through her as she listened to him, her embarrassment melting away with each syllable. It was as if Elvis had whispered secrets of courage directly into her heart. The audience was equally moved. Tears glistened in many eyes as they absorbed his message of resilience and hope. "Let's show everyone here how special you really are," he said with enthusiasm, inviting her to join him on stage fully. As he pulled her gently to her feet and wiped at a stray rose petal from her sparkly outfit, a wave of applause erupted from the crowd. In that moment, the atmosphere shifted entirely. Cheers rang out like fireworks filling the night sky, echoing through the venue and wrapping around both Elvis and the girl in a blanket of love and encouragement. The once awkward fall became an unforgettable moment of connection, not just between them but with everyone in attendance who had shared in this experience. His heartfelt gesture illuminated not only her path forward but ignited inspiration within all those watching, reminding everyone that mistakes are merely stepping stones on the journey toward greatness. As Elvis helped the girl to her feet, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The initial gasp of surprise from the audience transformed into an overwhelming wave of emotion. Each person in the arena felt a connection to this moment, a shared experience that transcended age and background. Tears welled in many eyes as they witnessed the heartfelt exchange between the superstar and the young girl, their empathy knitting them together in a tapestry of support. The applause began hesitantly at first, a few hands clapping together in disbelief at what they had just seen. But soon, it grew into a thunderous roar that filled every corner of the venue, echoing off the walls like a powerful chorus of encouragement. People rose to their feet, cheering and clapping as if they were celebrating a monumental victory. The sound washed over the stage like a tide, affirming not only the girl's bravery but also Elvis's kind-heartedness. With each beat of applause, the girl felt her heart swell with pride and joy. She looked around and saw faces beaming with admiration and cheering for her resilience. It filled her with an indescribable warmth. The roses that had scattered across the stage now seemed less like reminders of embarrassment and more like tokens of triumph. Elvis raised her hand high into the air, inviting everyone to share in this triumphant moment. The arena erupted with shouts of, "You're amazing!" and "Keep shining!" In that instant, every person present became part of something larger than themselves, a celebration of courage, kindness, and community spirit. The tears that fell were not just tears of sympathy but tears of pure joy. They reflected an understanding that everyone faces challenges but can rise above them with love and support. This magical connection between Elvis, the girl, and the audience became an unforgettable part of their hearts, reminding them all that life's little mishaps can lead to extraordinary moments filled with love and inspiration. In the aftermath of that unforgettable moment, the shy girl felt a newfound sense of confidence blooming within her. The cheers and applause from the audience echoed in her ears, transforming her perception of performing from one of anxiety to exhilaration. No longer did she see the stage as a daunting place where mistakes could lead to embarrassment. Instead, it became a platform for connection, joy, and magic. As she stood beside Elvis, basking in the warmth of the crowd's admiration, she realized that her stumble was not a sign of weakness but rather an emblem of courage. With every clap and encouraging shout, her heart filled with determination. The supportive words he had shared resonated deep within her. "Life is full of trips and falls," he had said, and now she understood that it was perfectly okay to make mistakes. What mattered was how she would rise from them. This experience ignited a spark in her spirit. She left the stage that night not just as a fan of Elvis but as a budding performer who believed in herself. The roses that had once scattered across the floor now symbolized hope and resilience rather than clumsiness. They reminded her that beauty could emerge from unexpected moments. In the days that followed, she found herself singing louder and more confidently at home, experimenting with new songs in front of her family. Each note felt more powerful as she recalled the magic of that night. She even began to dream bigger, imagining herself on stage again one day, not just watching from the sidelines but truly belonging there. Elvis's kindness and the audience's overwhelming support planted seeds of bravery in her heart that would continue to grow. She learned that performance was about sharing joy and connecting with others, turning what once felt like vulnerability into a source of strength. From that moment on, she knew she was capable of so much more than she had ever imagined. As the lights dimmed slightly and the audience slowly began to settle, the magic of that evening lingered in the air. What started as a moment of potential embarrassment had transformed into an inspiring tale of bravery and kindness. The shy girl with long strawberry blonde hair and her sparkling silver outfit had captivated not just Elvis but everyone in the arena. This unforgettable experience underscored an important message: life is filled with surprises, both beautiful and challenging. It reminded everyone present that embracing vulnerability can often lead to extraordinary connections. When the young girl stumbled, instead of receiving judgment, she was met with compassion, a lesson that would resonate beyond that night. Elvis's gentle support illuminated the power of kindness. In a world that often rushes past moments of weakness, his willingness to kneel down and communicate directly with her reminded everyone that we are all human. Mistakes happen. It's how we respond to them that truly shapes our journey. As the audience erupted in cheers for both the superstar and the girl, it became clear that true magic arises when people gather to support one another during unexpected moments. Everyone felt connected by an unspoken bond, an understanding that in these shared experiences, we can find strength, encouragement, and hope. In the end, this story serves as a poignant reminder for all: be brave enough to follow your dreams and kind enough to lift others when they falter. The night left its mark on many hearts, sparking inspiration to believe in oneself and embrace every twist and turn along life's path. So, take a moment to appreciate those magical instances when kindness can turn an awkward stumble into a celebration of resilience, because sometimes, it is in our most vulnerable moments that we discover our greatest strength.